Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be going over some common Pyraminx mistakes, and this is as part of a kind of mini-series. Yesterday we went over common beginner mistakes. Today we're going to be going over common intermediate mistakes, and then tomorrow we're going to be going over common advanced mistakes. Now, what you'll notice with the intermediate mistakes is that, like the beginner mistakes, a lot of these things are quite fundamental to the solve. And it's not like super specific advice because there's still a lot of things that people are getting wrong that are quite broad. But instead of going over the fundamentals for layer by layer like we did with the beginner video, we're going to be going over the fundamentals for L4E, because that's the method you should be using now if you're averaging in that intermediate range of kind of sub 9 to averaging about 3 seconds. So let's get into it. The first two mistakes that I want to talk about are specific to L4E, and these usually arise when people switch to L4E too quickly, or they just learn L4E from the wrong source. And so the first of these mistakes is using bad L4E algorithms. You see this all the time. So this is one of the common cases which a bad algorithm gets taught, and what people teach is to do this. You do like a sledge, and then I guess a hedge there, and you do that. That's a lot of moves. It's got bad finger tricks. What you should do instead, when you get this case, is basically put this piece into there, and then insert this piece. What that means is, first off, you save 2 moves, and also you're doing these kind of finger tricks, which are a lot nicer than sledges and hedges. So that's one of the common ones, but there's all sorts of algorithms out there. So, bit of a self-promotion here. This video shows you all of the L4E algorithms, and it shows you good ones. So, you should probably learn from there, or cross-reference to make sure you're not using any terrible L4E algorithms. The next common intermediate mistake is not being able to do this finger trick, which is pulling from the front to do U or U prime. Most people will kind of push from like this, or be pulling from the back. And as a general rule, you never want to be pulling from the back. If any of your L4E algorithms involve you pulling from the back, you need to change your finger tricks. And again, this video goes over all of the finger tricks that you should be using. So for this case, for a while, I was doing it like this, which is bad. Instead, what you want to do is use this finger trick to pull like that. And that's a thing you see a lot of people not being able to do that. So they're only ever pushing or pulling from the back rather than pulling from the front, which is really useful and is in the vast majority of your L4E algorithms. The next common mistake is doing your V on the front. And this is probably something you've heard a lot. It gets said quite often, and it can often be quite a difficult thing to fix because it seems quite natural to do it on the front, right? You're looking at it, you're doing it. So if I'm going to do this 2-move V here, which is putting this piece in and then putting this piece in, it kind of makes sense to do it on the front. But you really need to make sure that you do it on the bottom. So I'm going to do it like this instead, and then it just saves you a rotation. Rotations take time, so don't add unnecessary ones. But that's probably something you've heard a lot. The other thing you should be thinking about with L4E is trying to solve your V with the empty slot to the front. So here we have another 2-move V. So basically moving this piece over to here and then moving it down. But if we do that, we're going to have to rotate to have the empty slot on the front. So what we can instead do is do it from this angle. So when we do our V, we don't have to rotate because we already can just do it like that. The last common mistake that I want to talk about at this level is thinking you need to turn really fast in order to get fast times. Now, what this often results in is if you watch someone who averages, say, 5 to 7 seconds do a solve, it probably kind of looks like this. There's a lot of random rotations, random moves, and locking up because they're trying to turn super fast or turn while they're rotating or something like that, right? Obviously, Pyraminx is a fast event and you want to be able to turn fast. And you should try and over time increase your turns, your kind of comfortable turn speed by doing specific practice. But for your average solve, like a lot of events, if you slow it down a little bit, you might actually get faster times because your solves are less panicked, they're more controlled, and you often will have higher TPS by doing that. So there we are. Hopefully this video was useful for you. If you want some beginner mistakes, you can click here. And if you're looking for something a little bit more advanced, you can click here. Thanks for watching.